Hey, it's Gary Coxe. Welcome to Cockpit Conversations. On the way to the Bahamas for my Beyond First Class Mastermind. So you'll actually hear the air traffic controllers once in a while. I've got George here with me. What do you think so far, George? You got the best seat in the house, huh?
Yeah, best seat in the house. Beautiful view.
Right? First time to the Bahamas or no?
No. Been a few
times.
It'll be my first time to this resort, though.
Yes,
so
and the first time with VIP police escort.
That's for sure.
That's going to be awesome. All right, so George is in real estate, and I wanted him to share with you a couple things. You know, you hear the importance of, having different income streams. If you're in real estate, why are you not? He might be able to help you identify what's the block. If you are in real estate, he might be able to share with you what you can do to make it easier, better, bigger, whatnot. So, George, welcome, by the way, and thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
So, why do you think most people don't invest in real estate? I mean, most people will say, well, I don't have the money. They think it's a money block. Is it a belief block? What do you find?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. Most people think, traditionally speaking, that it requires a lot of upfront capital. It takes a lot of money to invest in real estate. When you talk to the average person, the belief out there is that you need 20% to purchase the property for down payment.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is that that's actually not the case. There's a lot of different strategies out there where you can actually buy property with no money and even no credit.
All right, so let me interrupt him there. So here's what happens. A person who is what I refer to as limited in their thinking will start criticizing by saying, well, how can you do that with no money down? As opposed to saying, George, let me hear more. How would that be? Because it is very possible. I've done a lot of things with no money down. So, number one, if you're fighting that thought right away, that's a problem for you.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to the shift in mindset. You have to make that transition from why can I to how can I?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're at that fork, this is where you need to keep listening to figure out how can I.
How can I?
Don't shut yourself down because you're changing your financial future, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And what a lot of times I talk about and I teach my students, my mentor students is the same strategies that I use in my business. How I basically started my real estate investment career with $1,000.
Wow!
And now we're fortunate enough to manage an 8-figure portfolio.
That's awesome.
And we're continuously growing and scaling that.
And see, I think that's the key. A lot of times we're here, and we see that we want to go here. But we forget that, wait a minute, I could be like George and start with $1,000. We think, oh man, how do I get, and we think too big sometimes, not too big that we're not thinking or we're not capable, but mentally, if we're not there.
Mike, contact Palm Beach Approach, 128.3.
Bear with us, 128.3 for Zulu Mike. 128.3, so I'm going to check in and we'll get right back to George. Don't leave us. And West Palm, 777 Zulu Mike, we're checking with you, level at 9,500.
November 777 Zulu Mike, Palm Beach Approach, good morning. Palm Beach altimeter 2977.
2977 Zulu Mike. Okay, now what about somebody who has put their foot in? They've got a little bit of real estate, maybe 1 or 2 pieces of property. What is the mindset for them that you recommend to get to that next level?
Yeah, and so for me, it's always been a growth mindset. So again, I started wholesaling, which basically I took $1,000, I put a property under contract, and I found a buyer, and I basically flipped the contract.
Okay, so what does that mean? So if somebody doesn't know what wholesaling means, what does that mean?
That means that you go out, you find a good deal, you put her under contract, you put an earnest money deposit. In my case, like I said, it was $1,000.
Right.
And
so $1,000 to tell the person that you're interested, and there's a clause that you've created. If things aren't right, you don't have to put and continue. You can pull your $1,000 out.
Correct.
And I'm sharing that with you so you don't have a mental block. So he didn't buy the property for $1,000. He held the property, and then what do you do?
And then I went out and I found the buyer, and I basically assigned that contract to them for a higher amount than what I had it under contract for.
And you made how much, if I could ask?
Well, in this case, it was actually a very good deal. I made $20,000 on
Wow.
my first deal. Gross, minus some expenses at closing.
But still, even if it's 10 grand.
About $18,000, but So we basically turned the $1,000 into 18 when it was all said and done,
November 5,
and I never looked back.
Wow. So the key here is, obviously, we're not here to spend hours in the cockpit explaining everything to you. That's just not reasonable. But hopefully he's intrigued you enough to think about, well, what do I do next? You investigate, you learn, you get intel, and that's what he's here for. So now somebody who has done it a little bit, what's the mindset? How do they go a little further?
So then for me, the key was, I wanted to stop trading my time for money.
Good.
And
so you wanted a system.
And I wanted to create a system where I was creating passive income streams for myself, multiple passive income streams.
Yeah.
And so from there, I started. First, I started actually, as my business grew, I started buying some of the properties. I started doing a lot of fix and flips. From there, I began to do what's called the BRRRR method. I don't know if anyone's heard of it.
What is that?
Basically, you would buy the property, you fix it up, you create the value in the property, and then you refinance it, and you take all your money back out.
Yes.
And then you take that same money and you recycle it, and you go again, and you go again, and you go again.
Good.
And the trick is, how many times can I flip this dollar into 2, and then from there
3
double
to
that
4,
2
yeah.
to 4, and 4 to 8, and 8 to, and so on and so forth.
Now, here's another thing. If you're a little gun shy and you don't want to do that, then you connect with somebody like George who has the experience. Use his experience. Hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn or whatever, and maybe you help people by using their money, and you show them what to do, and you split it with them or something to kind of hold their hand. Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I'm a firm believer in seeking out information, education. You have to educate yourself. You can't go in blindly, because obviously you're going to find yourself in a heap of trouble. And so, I invested a lot in education for myself, in mentorship.
Yeah, that's why he's here.
I mean, to this day, there's always another level.
Yeah.
And I invest quite a bit of money every single year in education. And so, we're now at the point where I went from buying single family homes. We're buying about, up to 40 houses a year.
Wow.
And even that became too much of a grind. That's
so,
again,
but now you're working for the next level now.
So now it's like, okay, why buy one property? Why buy one unit when we can buy the entire building?
Right.
And so that's where we've shifted to now, where now we're doing what's called real estate syndication, where instead of buying one property, we're buying 50, 100 unit apartment buildings, apartment complexes.
All right, now check this out. So he started with 1,000. Now he's buying apartment buildings. So if you have a really strong belief system, you could skip all that and jump to the apartment buildings, but you got to have a really strong belief in yourself, and that's why he's where he's at now, because he grew that belief system. Or you can save yourself a lot of time and hassle, jump on his bandwagon, and get to that level faster. Does that make sense? Am I right?
And there's people from all walks of life. So we work with, we have mentor students that want to learn how to do it themselves from day one. And basically what I do is I teach them my journey, and I show them how I've done it. And then on the other hand, we also have investors that simply are looking for passive income. And so, maybe they don't want to put all their money into the stock market, or mutual funds or whatever it is. They want to diversify, and so they seek out companies like us, where we have a syndication investment fund. And so just how you would invest in a mutual fund, now you're investing in a 100-unit building with 10 or 20 other investors, and you're receiving passive income that way, because you're still getting quarterly dividends, you're still participating in the forced appreciation, you're getting all the additional tax benefits.
You get the appreciation benefits too.
You also get the appreciation benefits, and not only that, but you also get the additional tax benefits of ownership, of real estate ownership.
Nice.
So you get to write off depreciation off of your income. And obviously, you have to consult with your tax advisor, your legal advisors, to, make sure what fits in your particular situation. But, there's so many benefits to it. So again, whether you're just starting out and you want to learn how to do yourself, or whether you're just saying, listen, I'm a busy entrepreneur, I'm a busy professional, doctor, attorney, here I just want you to manage my money, and I want to get extra return on that. So we work with all sorts. I actually, a little bit of background on me. I went to law school. I do have my Juris Doctorate. I never really wanted to practice.
Interesting.
And so a lot of my investors, a lot of our passive income investors are my friends from from law school.
Right, that's
We went to
awesome.
law school together. Now fast forward, 7, 8 years later, they're doing well. They have,
17 miles north.
And they
money
say,
to
hey,
invest.
work it.
And they said, you know what, George, I want you to put, my money to work.
That's
work
cute.
for me.
Awesome.
And
Beautiful.
so it's a great relationship.
So George, how does somebody get a hold of you?
So the best way to get a hold of me, you can go to kpicapital.com or
kpicapital.com.
kpicapital.com, or you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at George Fajardo _official, and or you can email me at George JORGE at kpi-capital.com.
All right, there you have it. Another series in the Cockpit Conversations. Hope you enjoyed it. Between now and the next time we get in the chat, you know what to do. Don't let anything or anyone rent space in your head.
Growth
Connect
mindset.
with George.
Growth
That's
mindset.
right. This is the place to be. See ya.